to the BattleGround of the Gods.
Welcome, challengers, to BattleGround of the Gods. I am your hostess with the mostest this week, Nevaeh03, and joining me, I have Fro Double G.
Hey, ladies, what's up?
Famous Freak 33 EST.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Willow 1771.
What's going on, bots?
And a very special guest this week, we have DukeSloth.
What's up, guys? DukeSloth here.
Oh,
He did it!
Of course.
Of course.
are
He
you
was
going to give us a
prepared for
fire
this.
outro, too?
Sure. Can do. But not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Let's talk a little bit first.
All right, can we just take a second and appreciate the goosebumps hearing that on our podcast?
Right?
I gotta say it, that's amazing. Welcome, Duke. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I heard we're going to talk about Britney Spears for 2 hours, so I'm
Yes.
Oh,
2
Jesus
hour
Christ,
Britney
I
I
wasn't.
mean, I could.
Oh, I really didn't sign up for this.
I'm
was
so
not
glad you
prepared.
referenced it right away. I was going to ask
Of
you
course.
questions if you wanted to talk about Britney Spears.
Oh, so for those people who don't know, what was it? Willow tweeted or responded to a tweet, something about how. I guess you just fucking explain it. You'll do it better than I will.
Well, Duke tweeted about something being toxic and coming. Well, I don't even remember it, and I was like, "It just comes to you." And he says, "Oh yeah, it's because I'm such a Britney Spears fanboy."
I mean, what can I say? It's the truth, you know? Ever since the 90s, when I grew up, it's just been... I can't get it out of my mind.
Of course.
Low key, I'm actually a big Britney supporter.
Okay, I'm actually not. I'm sorry. I gotta disappoint you.
Oh no! Baited.
Sorry. I can be your Britney Spears fan, Willow.
I like Britney Spears cover by metal bands and emo bands.
Oh, yeah.
Well, quick behind the scenes. I was 8 or 9, right? And I had a really good parent-teacher conference, and NSYNC came to the Pepsi Center. And so my parents, of course, thought, hey, let's take the kids to an NSYNC concert. You want to know? A little tiny blonde girl from Texas was opening up for him, and her name was Britney Spears. Nobody knew who she was.
So you've actually seen her in concert?
Yeah, early, before she was popular.
Oh, you're like the Britney Spears hipster then.
No, he's OG.
Yep,
Britney
exactly.
Britney
Spears.
Spears.
Yeah. I saw Britney live before she was Britney.
All right, let's fucking move on.
Yeah.
Nev, host us
Exactly.
properly.
Yes, absolutely. So, for those who might not be very familiar with you, who are you? Who dis?
Who dis, Duke?
Yeah, Fro, who are you? Tell us about yourself.
I'm just a little known PS4 player. That's about it.
Yeah, clearly underselling himself right there. I am a Smite YouTuber for 4 years now, I think, at this point. Started out more as a fun project, really, on the side. I actually started with Borderlands, the pre-sequel, when that came out. And then kind of moved back to Smite because pre-sequel was kind of boring. And with that, my content shifted to Smite. I made I don't even know how to explain the first videos at this point. I just made anything, really. I tried out everything and saw what was interesting and what wasn't, what people liked and what they didn't. And what turned out to be the most interesting thing at the time, at least, was any sort of info theory kind of stuff, math behind builds and everything like that. And that was kind of what stuck with me, and that's the content I primarily made for the longest time. These days, I still make that. At the moment, I'm making it a lot, actually, but mixed in with a lot more news kind of content as well, just general updates on what's going on in the game, around the game. And yeah, I've branched out from Smite a little bit here and there, trying that at the moment as well, and probably going to do that in the next weeks again with Apex Legends, if that works, because everyone is in that game too. And yeah, I think that's about all I need to say. Yeah, I'm late. I'm so unlucky. I wanted to go
Rain Day has
deep
made
into that game.
15 videos, man. You're late.
I wanted to. The problem I was playing from the first day, but the problem was that I had to write my bachelor thesis at the same time.
Oh,
And
of course.
yeah,
Ouch.
it was just the worst timing because I was in the final weeks of my bachelor thesis, and I literally planned this around other games. I was like, okay, nothing big is coming out, Anthem is coming after that, and it's gonna be fine. And then out of nowhere, Apex Legends appears, and I'm like, okay, right, this has to happen now. And I actually genuinely love the game, which makes it even more frustrating. But what can you do?
Yeah, I hear
Should we hit Duke with our hot Apex Legends video idea?
Oh yeah,
Willow?
you have to. If you do this video, you have to at least cite us for some of this information.
Okay, Willow, calm down. But wait, okay, when you're Smite podcast, but real quick, great video tip idea. We think the 3 fundamentals of Apex: gunplay, patience, and high ground. Every Apex game you lose, I guarantee you can trace back to one of those. Did you miss your shots? Were you not patient? Did you not think it through? And did you lose high ground?
See, and then there's me who just is so bad at gunplay that it doesn't even matter that you get the other 2 right.
Right? Exactly, for me.
Play to your strengths, man. Play to your strengths.
Sometimes it's all about the patience. You just wait till the 2 teams fight at the end, and you swoop in and kill them while they're trying to keep their team alive.
True. But the problem is if you do that, you also have less practice with gunplay.
Exactly.
I like it, though. I guess we should probably switch to Smite, though.
Yeah, probably. But you brought up on making Apex vids, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we have one. We're trying to pitch.
I love we're like 6 minutes in and we have talked about Britney and Apex Legends.
Yep. This is a Smite podcast,
shit.
guys.
Jesus Christ. That means fucking Big Rick 20X is going to be fucking posting a bunch of hate in our Discord again.
Yeah, right? Flaming.
Well, we wouldn't want that, so let's go ahead and start talking about our Smite games this week. Famous, why don't you start us off here?
Oh, I can start us off with some Smite games. I pretty much held true to what I said last week. I stuck to ranked. I stuck to grinding with my try-hard panties on and sweating every game that I got into. All I have to say is, whenever I don't get jungle, I seem to lose. But when I get jungle and pick a Wheelix right now down in gold, people cannot handle her. She is broken. Down in gold, at least, in my opinion.
Did you hear that
She counters
scoff from Fro
everyone.
there?
Huh?
Did you hear that scoff from Fro right there?
Oh, maybe. But all I can tell you is if you really feel like you're stuck in a quote unquote elo hell down there in like silver, gold, probably even platinum, get good at a Wheelix, play her in the jungle, and watch yourself climb out real fast, because that's what's happening with me. People just can't handle it. You can counter basically every other jungler. Except Najah. Najah gives me a lot of trouble. Ugh.
And Najah's really strong right now.
Yeah, Najah is strong. But yeah, I basically grinded gold 3 to gold 1 this week, and I think my next win is promo into plat, and I'm going to keep on moving.
Awesome.
That's pretty much all my games this week. Pub Stomp with the Wheelix. It's fun. Who's up next? Fro? Willow?
I'll go. It's fine. As you can tell
Willow,
from
on the
my
other hand.
heavy sigh, I am cursed. Famous and I have
You are
discovered
cursed.
that I am cursed. In the, let's see, like 23-ish games I've played, I have officially won 7. I am less than a
Ouch.
third
Ouch.
right now. I am just getting and it's not. There's been a couple games, and I said this to Famous the other day. I was like, there's been a couple games where I know I played bad and I could have played better, but that's only like 3 or 4, maybe 5 at this point. I just keep getting the worst teammates, and they're toxic, and like everybody's complaining about toxicity right now, but they're just pinging each other, and like it's not necessarily at me. You could just tell that they're mad, and the ping has been really bad. The UROC cancels that have been really bad. I am cursed. And then we decide, fuck it, let's just play some Clash. And we won 4 games in a row playing Clash. I just played Chang'e.
Sinner.
I just played Chang'e and we fucking won 4 games in a row. Stupid. But yeah, last night I played a little ranked. Ranked is not fun. Famous is like, yeah, I like the grind.
Qualifiers are not fun.
The whole system of ranked, in my opinion, is not fun because not only do I have to wait in queue for up to 10 minutes, then I have to go through the lobby, pick system, hope that my team picks a good team comp, hope that everybody actually picks something, hope that the other team picks something, so that we don't get re-queued back in for another 8 minutes, and then hope that the game starts and everybody loads in and the game goes well and you're not pinging each other in the first 5 minutes because somebody died. And it, like,
you just got it rough, bro.
it's just, like, seriously, my first queue of ranked yesterday, 3 minutes. I was like, oh, this is fine, 3 minutes, I can wait that. Waited the 3 minutes, got in the game was fine. We ended up I think we lost that one. It was a good game, though. The next game, 7-minute queue. I was like, well, shit. 7 minutes? Okay, that's a little long. Got into the queue, 10 minutes surrender. My team surrendered at 10 because our jungler left at 8 minutes. Next game,
See, now
8
that
minute
sounds
queue.
like my qualifiers.
No, listen. 8-minute queue, the next game. Get into that queue. Third person's picking, doesn't pick anything. Requeues, 6 minutes. Are you kidding me? So I waited, like, I literally played 4 games in 3 hours. I was like, this isn't fun. Why do people think this is fun? How do you sit in rank queues for hours on end?
I could tell you, like, I completely second that. That's a good reason why I don't play ranked anymore. I just feel like with the quality of matches being not significantly better than casuals for me in any experience that I've ever had in ranked, I don't see the point in wasting way more time on it and just getting way more frustrated because, you know, there is technically more or less more on the line, and I just, like, why put yourself through that, like, mental struggle with double the time spent sitting around for not much of a better outcome at the end anyways. And
Exactly.
now only in solo queue now. Like, I guess the solo queue thing is like a good and a bad thing at the same time, right? For some people it's nice that it's more of an even ground, but I typically like to play with, like, at least one other person. Like, I almost always play with Teats, and sometimes somebody else joins in as well. So for me to, like, just focus on ranked long enough and spend enough time on it for it to be worth it is just not a thing. And I also think that ranked for way too long now has been too rewarding in terms of grind up by playing a lot. Like, they're literally last split, there were literally multiple Masters players that I happened to play with in my casual games as well, which were no better than anyone else on the team, who were clearly in Masters because they played a ton of games. And I made a tweet about this as well. I said it's absurd how, like, Master is no longer a qualification for someone's skill. It no longer tells you, okay, this guy is good. In Season 2, if someone was Masters, you're like, okay, that guy knows what he's doing. It's no longer true. And multiple pro players liked this tweet, so I guess to some degree agreed with it, because it just isn't anymore. Like, you just... one of my friends who grinds ranked a lot basically described it like this. You know, what you do is you try to figure out the weak link on the enemy team, the worst player on the enemy team, and you pick them out over and over and over, and that's how you win. And you don't need to actually understand much about the game or be good or understand objective play or anything like that. You just need to focus that bad player. And that's just awkward to me. Like, I think ranked should work differently in
Duke's
general.
tips for winning ranked: just pub stomp the worst player. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, ranked is all about. Ranked is also all about playing carry. Show me a ranked game under, say, like, Masters level where it's actually about synergistic team play. Like, it doesn't exist. And it's sad because it would be so cool to have more of an experience that's closer to the competitive experience that you see in the SPL, because that's so cool to watch. But I don't think that Smite offers that right now with how the rank system works. But the problem is also that it's kind of impossible to change because people will use what's most functional. And as long as nobody else is playing as a team, playing hard carry is what wins.
Yep.
That's why my Willow is so successful, because people just don't know how to counter it and they don't know how to group up against it.
Yeah, she's just not played anymore, and she has enough carry potential to get you there. The problem is that if an enemy team actually gets to late game and have a little bit of understanding or have picked an Archeo, then you're still done for. But that's, like, I guess,
Correct.
Coming soon, and when you get into, like, higher plat or something, then those will show up.
Or when their support Fenrir actually starts to be tanky.
Yeah.
That was difficult. That was difficult. But see, I love your point you just made, because I was in a game the other day and no one was buying wards but me. And it was already like 20 minutes into the game. And I kept going, we need wards. And so this guy finally gets
You
on
got
his
one
mic.
person on your team going, no.
Well, they weren't going no, but the guy finally got on his mic and he was like, "Stop telling me to buy wards. Wards are bad. You don't need them." And so I got on, I got on my mic and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Wards are bad?" And he was like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, "Are you qualifying?" And he was like, "No, I'm already ranked." "What rank are you?" "I'm Diamond 4.
I was gonna
Diamond
say,
4,
I was gonna say
wards are
it's
bad.
sad enough that somebody who's like supposed to be average at the game, like in gold, would say that, right? But it's not even gold. You're telling me the guy is diamond. I mean, even if you had like lucky qualifiers, it's just disappointing. Especially when we look at other games and, for example, League of Legends. League of Legends, if you're playing in gold, you're playing with average players, and average players in League of Legends understand the game to an average degree. They know definitely 100% more about items than the average Smite player does. They understand team fights better. They have better rotations, and then obviously if you go up more, it basically goes up exponentially from there. And I don't know what it is in Smite that causes that not to be the case, but I can imagine is that there's generally less of a focus on a laning farming phase, and stomping as such can just get you further in general. So maybe that guy in Diamond doesn't actually need wards because he's just stomping all the time, you know? So why would he need wards?
Well, he's playing Arena in Clash. He's just looking to team fight from minute one.
Right, Arena in Clash would also be
over and over
hilarious.
again. And if you, it's true though. I had a game out of my 4 ranked games that literally my entire team and their entire team just fought over and over again. There was no farming. There was no rotations. It was a 2v2 in duo lane. It was a jungler who rotated. It was a mid versus mid and a solo versus solo for the first 20 minutes. And it wasn't even farming. It was just fighting. There was 20 kills by 20 minutes.
I think I can pick up real quick and transition over to my week at the same time. I played a game this week where literally I think we were about 25 minutes in. It was like 15 or 20 to 15 or 20. We were pretty even matched. Not a single Gold Fury taken, no Portal Demon, none of that. The first Gold Fury was taken at 30 minutes, and finally a Fire Giant at 40. Otherwise, it was just fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. And it's like, I mean, cool. I don't mind going like fucking 8-2 or 10-2 or whatever the fuck I was. I was doing all right, but it's like, and I was trying to get in VGS to get people to like attack Fire Giant. No, attack right lane. All right, I guess we'll go fucking fight in right lane. Whatever. I don't care. I'll go with the team so we can at least win. But yeah, I think, and that was just fucking casual. But I've experienced the same thing in ranked games as well. Back when I used to play, I haven't played in a while because again, I like the dual queue as well.
That was an interesting point, by the way. I've noticed since season 6, the objective play, and I will blame crossplay on this to some degree at least, has gone down so much. Like, not just one game. In general, like, thinking about this now, like, in hindsight, I've seen Fire Giant plays here and there, but I've literally seen people tell me, yeah, don't go Fire Giants, it's too tanky now, it's not worth it. And I've seen so many people just avoiding the Gold Fury, or all Gold Furies, even like the ones that give you other benefits, which is interesting. It's a strange development.
It's weird. I've never played so many games where I go like 3-4 KDA and still lose a game.
Yeah,
as I have the last few weeks. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I can pick up with my week as well, real quick.
All right, go ahead.
We already talked about it. Britney Spears, toxic. Had some
oh Jesus.
Had some interesting games, mainly due to the reason that I'm in Croatia at the moment. Long story, I can tell that at a later point, whatever. But I'm staying in an Airbnb, and this Airbnb has one of those, like, this is a splitter, I guess. Like it's like the owner of the Airbnb owns 2 flats, and the other one has the router with the internet, and this one has a splitter that goes through the power socket. So it's like one of those mini routers, basically. So it's already relatively bad. Then you have to keep in mind, Croatian internet is generally considered one of the worst in Europe, so it's not very good in general. But the owner actually specifically upgraded for us. I messaged her before, and I was like, we're coming here for a while, but I will need to work from here a little bit. Is the internet good? And she was like, yeah, we will upgrade that. It's all good. So that is the case. The internet technically has like 80k download and 15k upload or something. Very, very good. Unfortunately, due to this router, it's not quite stable, and it doesn't have an Ethernet connector that works either. So it's just wireless. And,
oh no!
And we're not done. And this router has a very very weak signal. So the only place you can get it is really close to the router. The router happens to be a splitter, happens to be upstairs in the bedroom, where there's only a bed in the bedroom. It's like a half upstairs basically. So this is the only place I have good internet, which means with this already unstable internet, I have to play on the bed. And
awesome!
I also forgot to bring my own mouse pad, which means I bought like a super cheap €2 mouse pad here. So that is what I'm playing on right now. And I had to like put that on a book to make it like sturdy enough to not like move away the moment I move the mouse. So that's my setup.
So all I'm hearing is for the next little bit, your videos, listen to the quality of the content, not the quality of the gameplay.
Yes. I literally, in yesterday's video, I literally put a disclaimer. After like the video before, I had like some trash talk on it, and I was just like, no, I'm not having this. And some people just flipping out over me saying like, stop being toxic. But so what I decided to do is, right, for every video for the next 2 weeks, I'm putting up this disclaimer that these videos were played under these specific conditions. So yeah, please leave the remarks about the gameplay like to yourself. It's like it's a wonder if I can actually go positive in some of the games. And I actually that really frustrates me with the new roll call system. I had so many games where I got not the role that I asked for, and I specifically like quite frequently ended up with ADC. And ADC with the setup is the worst thing you can imagine.
Oh no.
So yeah, Duke's not even good at the game. Why would I listen to his videos meme here?
So yeah, that was my week. That was pretty fun. But the games outside of that, like some were actually pretty alright, surprisingly. All those circumstances considered. I do not envy people that permanently live in Croatia and have like the ping spikes that they have here. I will say that. That's rough.
Somebody's going to be facing Duke in the duel lane. They're going to be like, is DukeSloth on an Xbox?
Oh, I already had a guy who was like, whoa, like, Duke, I don't think, like, he wasn't mean at all. He was very nice. He was just ending up, like, in the same game with me after the game before. And he was like, Duke, I'm not sure if your new build that you were doing there is working out. And I was just like, trust me, it's not the build that's the issue right now. But yeah, it's what it is.
Oh, boy.
Nice.
So that leaves our lovely lady to bring up the rear, right?
Yeah, so I wasn't going to take too terribly long. Last week I was not here. I was feeling a bit under the weather, but I did participate in Mad Accountant's charity event, which was a lot of fun.
Oh shit,
and
so did I.
Yeah, I know. It was really cool. That was a first experience for me, and it was just surreal, just like having somebody commentate on our games, and I don't know, it's just hard to explain. It was just really cool. I think we got 6 or 7 wins for the charity, so yay. And
good job.
Good job. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. Super fun. I think he said he was gonna probably try and do something similar to that in the future, so be on the lookout for it. And yeah, so also been working on some more Conquest play, and Fro and I played a few games yesterday, so that was fun.
Gotta get ready for that team.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
I mean, you can't hide the girthworms.
Oh my god. I did not. Okay, first off, I thought this was a democracy. I thought I had a say in what our team name was going to be. Nope. All of my
Now wait, Nev, you forgetting that a democracy is everybody gets a vote. The vote just happened to be what you didn't want.
Oh, that's fair. That is fair. I was the only one who said no to it. Everybody else was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea." And I'm like,
It's funny how the dictator is spouting about democracy. Ooh.
But our team name is literally the Bot G Girthworms. Nev is
SMH.
I understand the SMH here.
I like it.
I can't wait to see what your guys' logo looks like.
We'll talk about that one later.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So yeah, we're gonna have Silent Aces. We're gonna have Hey Hey, Gokinator, Big Rick, and Nevea, and then I'm gonna be the coach / sub of the team.
And it's another like really cool experience for me because being newer to Conquest, other than or more new than the people that I'm playing with, it's nice to have that communication and that sense of camaraderie and teamwork. And it's honestly, even though we had some kind of rough games last night, I was still having a lot of fun, and I was just enjoying all the communication and help that I was receiving. So thank you guys. Thank you very much.
You can catch our first game March 16th in the Exilium tournament.
Oh wait, are we doing that?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, time to start warming up some more, I guess.
Nev, I think it's called practice, not warming up. You've already done that part.
I mean, true.
But all right. So yeah, that was really the highlights of my week. I think we have some questions now for our wonderful guest. If Famous and Willow would like to take over.
Oh, guest questions?
Oh.
Yeah, we got a lot in the Discord. All right, you ready, Duke?
Yep.
All right. From our boy Hiei, why do you refuse to come to the correct side of the milk debate? Hashtag jug milk, best milk.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't know that was a question.
The fact that he does not call the other the correct side shows me that he's utterly wrong with his opinion. That's all I will say.
Oh, that
hey.
word pun. I love
You
it.
just got wrecked, Hiei. All right, on a more serious note.
That
a
was
lot of
serious.
people
That was
seem-
dead serious.
That was
It doesn't get me-
You're right. You're all right.
Touche there, Duke.
Yep, you win. All right, on a less serious note, a lot of people seem to be thinking we are on the verge of a tank meta. Do you agree?
I'll be honest, especially with the thesis and everything, I didn't have enough time in Smite lately to really get a feel for how the metas are developing. I think especially Celestial Legion Helm could contribute there, and it's been that way for ages. I've been preaching it for ages, and people are now picking up. Like yesterday I saw it or 2 days ago I saw it on 3 different players on the enemy team. So I think there are definitely developments towards tankier playstyles at least. At the same time, those have always been rewarding in Smite, simply because it's just good to have a mix of power and pen and defense in your build overall. It's better than just stacking one thing over and over. And we also have a 6th slot now, technically. It's still bad because 3k pots are basically better than building something in there, but we have it. So that opens a lot of different options for builds and playstyles. I don't think we should judge the meta too soon at this moment, because it's the typical thing that happens at the beginning of every season. It's one meta gets established. People are like, yo, this is the way we play this season. This is what's going to happen. Then the first pro games happen, and pros already figured out a strategy to counter exactly that strategy, and something completely different happens. So I will not say it's not going to happen. I will also not say it's going to happen. But I will say that if it happens, I'm pretty sure we will see some countermeasures very quickly, especially because we still have a lot of nice anti-tank items right now.
Exactly my thoughts. I don't think you could have worded it any better. It's just so early in the season. Pro season hasn't even started yet.
Bans and ranked are going to completely change like 2 weeks into the pro season. So it's like, what are we judging yet? We're judging like a feeling right now, but nothing established yet, I think.
It's all speculation still.
Interesting speculation. Like good to have.
Right. All right. Our boy, Mr. Knapp. How often do you play Smite with some music or a podcast playing?
Almost exclusively with music. I find like watching everything else on the side or listening to something else on the side is too distracting for me. I cannot focus when I listen to like a podcast or watch a video or something. It just doesn't work for me. I just gotta focus to like on the game to some degree. But I really like listening to music. Like I'm rarely in voice chats these days. I don't know. It just feels. I guess it feels try hard at this point. Like it's not necessary, and I just rather like hang back and not set up my mic and everything and just play. But I almost always listen to music because I just like listening to music. I could obviously play some games better if I didn't do that, like sound play with Loki and stuff like that. But I just enjoy listening to music too much. And while recording and editing, I often can't listen to music. So while playing is the time I'll do it.
Duke, if you want to just come out and say that you're not a fan of the podcast, it's okay.
I'll be completely honest here. I haven't listened to a full episode of the podcast before. Like I'm not going to pretend I have because my time schedule is horrible.
Oh yeah.
Like if I was driving around,
you're a busy man.
Yes. If I had time to like drive from A to B, that's when I would listen to podcasts. But I don't even have a car right now. If I had like time in the day where I wanted to unwind, but still concern myself with Smite, I would do that. But I spend the majority of my day either playing Smite or making a video for Smite. And when you're done with that, you're just like, okay, no more Smite for the day. I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna watch a series or eat some food or whatever. You're not. You have to have your me time. You have to get out of the mindset of surrounding yourself with a game 24/7.
You can't neglect Netflix.
Yes,
just can't.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our boy, Wild Deathstroke, he was a guest a little while back. What was the reason you decided to start uploading daily back in 2016, and how has that decision affected you?
Wow, he analyzed. I didn't even know it was in 2016.
Yeah, he went in.
I think I'm assuming 2016. It must have been around the time. Yeah, it must. So I was in uni still at the time, and what happened was my bachelor thesis got canceled. The prof got sick last minute, and I couldn't write my thesis in that very semester without like a lot of like issues coming with it. And I was just like, okay, maybe that's not gonna happen right now. That's unfortunate. And I'd like to see how far I can get with YouTube, if I can make that sustainable to survive from it. And that was the time where I started uploading daily, I guess. That was the time where I had to like put in the work every single day to make sure it works. And yeah, how has it affected me? Of course, financially, it's definitely better. It's necessary somewhat. Like that's the thing with content like Smite, you're not gonna get rich. It's enough to make a decent living. It's enough to get the bread, and it's enough to pay a flat, or like pay rent in a flat, and you have to keep doing it. You're not like gonna take long breaks. Like this month, I had to take a break for the thesis, and it cuts into your income a lot, and it cuts into your savings and everything, and it gets rough. So I can't really stop that. At the same time, it can be very exhausting. Sometimes you have to just take a day off, like in between, just one day, not 2 days. But of course, I wish I could have like a normal weekend. I could take that break. But at the same time, I also know that the position that I have is something that most people wish they had. Many people probably wouldn't wish it anymore once they have it, because they don't really know what's behind it and how much work goes into it. But still, it's a job that I personally enjoy more than sitting in an office, for example, or than whatever, doing a low-paying job. And it is a low. I mean, like a low-paying 5 days a week job that like doesn't require prior education, put like that.
Yeah, that doesn't make rent.
Yeah. So I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I'm happy with the situation how it is right now. It could obviously be improved, and ideally at some point in the future, I'd like to have like maybe 2 days a week that I can take off like a normal weekend and not upload, and still have sustainable income from it. But for now, it's gonna be daily uploads for the most part, and that's how it's gonna be, and it's okay, and I accept that grind for a while longer.
It's worth it.
Yes.
But yeah, starting the podcast, I can only imagine what it's like. Like if we had to do an episode every single day of the week, that'd get rough. That'd get real rough real fast.
Yep. I mean, it's like at the start, it kind of works out very easily because you still have a bunch of things that you want to do anyways, and you have all this, like at the start, I had so much pre-recorded footage. I had like month and month of footage that I recorded that weren't really used for anything, but now it's a different thing, right? I still have tons of ideas, but not every idea is like feasible to be executed within a day, and also sometimes it's the real struggle is to actually have enough footage that is somewhat related to the topic. Like, just when I talk about mage stuff, it makes sense to have mage footage in the background, and then I have to play mages and I have to get at least okay games to watch. So yeah, that can take quite a bit more time than you'd expect before, and than it is in the beginning when you switch over to it. But yeah, it's all also a matter of getting used to it, getting used to the grind, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Getting used to that rhythm.
Yes.
All right. I love it. All right. Our boy Adios. Guten Tag, DukeSloth. Have you any desire to be a coach at a high level for a team?
Probably not. I've had requests from SML level teams, or like, yeah, SML level teams, I guess. But there are some problems with that. Like, the main problem really is, like I said, what I do already consumes massive amounts of time. So adding coaching a team full time to that just doesn't seem very reasonable. It doesn't seem like a feasible idea if I want any time in the day at all. Obviously, everyone has a price. So if a team was to pay me well enough, then I would probably consider it. But at the same time, I don't think any team that is high ranked enough to be like in the position to pay me decently. Actually, I don't think any SPL team pays the coaches enough to begin with. That's another story. I can't say who told me that, but I know that no coach in the SPL earns nearly as much as the players do, or at least last season. So even assuming one team was capable of doing that, then they would not choose me as a coach. They would choose an already established coach where they know what they're getting, and where they know they have like a broad field. That person ideally was a pro player themselves at some point, or had some other very specific qualifications, knows the right people, whatnot. That's all not the case for me. That's all not within where I am placed as a content creator for Smite. And at the same time, I don't have the time to prove myself as a coach with a lower ranking team first, with a SML team first, because that would just eat up too much time with like basically financially no more benefit from me, and therefore I couldn't really afford it, because the moment I start coaching, I have to cut it short on editing, on making videos, and yeah, at the end of the day, I gotta earn the money somehow.
Yeah, add coaching to your list of things to do in your day. Have fun waking up in the morning.
Yep, and 8 times, just do it in the middle of the night.
Right. All right. Well, he comes in with an easier, funner question for you. He says, "Thanks for coming on, but also, what is your favorite beer? Since you're German and all."
Well, this is gonna be disappointing. This is gonna be frustrating to hear.
He doesn't like beer.
Is it Coors?
No, I mean, I don't like most beers that much. But the frustrating part is that the beer that I like the most is not German at all. It's, in fact, not even considered a beer by most Germans. The beer I like the most is Corona. And I like my Corona in summer on a sunny terrace or balcony or beach with a lime in it. That's how I like my beer. And not the traditional kind of beer that you'd think of for German.
Bet you didn't see that coming, Audio.
I mean,
I don't hate it. I don't hate
Yeah,
it. Like,
same.
it's not like I would not drink a normal German beer if like whatever, if I was offered for free and I was in the mood for it. But it's not what I would drink in most situations. I'm about that beach life, so yeah, a normal beer just doesn't fit in there too well. And also, I've had enough of that in my youth. Like, when you, like, in Germany, I don't know, for those who are not familiar with the laws, in Germany you can drink beers from when you are 16 legally, and then hard alcohol when you're 18. Obviously, the lines get blurred a little bit, so it's more like 15, 17, but you spend the first 2 years where you can't get hard liquor that easily, mostly drinking beer and cheap wine to get drunk. And if you did that for 2 years exclusively, you get kind of over it, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. Cocktails look a lot more attractive after 2 years. of nothing but beer.
I will drink vodka straight if it comes down to it. I like the taste of, like, what's it called? Skinny bitch, like just vodka and water. I like that, but
Whoa.
Letting everybody know, Fro is drinking Ruby Red Squirt in vodka this episode. Enjoy.
Oh, I'm drinking water. Look at me. The vodka's missing. But yeah, like, just beers got boring eventually.
Yeah, I could see that, especially at 15, being able to drink a beer.
Yeah, different life.
Yep. All right, our boy Jimmy comes in, and he asks, do you still enjoy Smite like you used to, or do you feel it's getting a little stale?
It always depends. There are literally days when I hate it and there are days when I love it. There's no general answer. Do I on average enjoy it as much as when I had all the freedom in the world and would just play the game? Probably not, because I'm more forced to do it now. I don't have as much of a choice to play every single game. But is it bad every time I play? Yeah, exactly. It's like
I can respect that.
yeah, it's more of a job, and I look at it as such. But like on the days where it's not that fun, I just tell myself like I'm still in a very good position to like be able to do that right here, right now. And if I don't enjoy the game for a day, it's just like somebody else not enjoying their job for a day. Like no one's gonna enjoy their job every single day, and that's what it is. And that's the mindset I have towards it, and as such, I don't really care that much when it happens.
I completely agree.
100%.
It sounds like me and Willow lately.
Yep.
Still love Smite. Always will love Smite. Just having a little bit of fun with something else right now.
Yeah,
That's all.
fair.
Downtime. Nothing wrong with downtime.
Yeah. All right, Willow. Your boy Ariel.
Actually, hang on.
Take
I
over.
On
Yeah,
that
go
note,
ahead, dude.
I found that very interesting. There seems to be a group of people within Smite, not everyone, of course, but a larger group of people within Smite who gets like outright offended when you are interested in another game, which I always
Yes.
found very, very interesting. It's like, are we not allowed to broaden our horizon? Are we not allowed to, like, if I say in a video, for example, like, League of Legends did this and that, which is an interesting feature that Smite could have as well. There's at least one person always complaining that I mentioned the enemy, League of Legends. And I'm like, I could just play both. But
Well, I can say as a big fan of yours, there's days where, especially when I was on third and I would listen to your episodes before I went to work or on my way to work, the days where it would be a non-Smite episode, or video, I should say, it was always like, dang it, I was hoping for a Smite one. But on the same hand, I also understand that you want to broaden your horizon and you want to do something different. Like, shit gets boring. I don't want to do the same thing at work every day.
yeah.
And so it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll see what this Sea of Thieves is about, or when you made the Paladins one, or your other different videos. Like, I'll listen, see what he's got to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the reason we bring this up a little bit is because as content creators for Smite, we've gotten a couple people that are like, wait, you're not playing Smite? Yeah, we want to try some other stuff. We enjoy gaming in general just as much as anybody else. And although our content is Smite based, we still like to try new things. Like right now we're trying the Division 2 beta. We played some Apex. We played Realm Royale when it came to console. Like, you can't just play Smite all the time. If everybody played Smite 24/7 all the time, they would be tired of it. They just would.
Oh, some people don't. Some people, like, I don't know how they do it, but like, look at the people that like grind every god to mastery 10, or people that grind one god to mastery 40 or something.
Oh gosh, yeah, right. I keep seeing more and more people. Oh, I got 89 diamonds. What? How? How did you do that?
Well, then, in my opinion, it kind of comes from being content creators as well. Because it's like you go from playing Smite to talking about Smite to prepping for an episode about Smite to talking more about Smite to listening to that episode about Smite while you're editing.
Yeah.
Smite. Before you know it, you get a little burnt out.
I guess it's also different when you're like, especially in like the first year of playing. I'm thinking back right now, like when I started playing Smite, I had this period where I played a bit, then I played Borderlands and dropped Smite completely. But when I went back to Smite for like 1 year, I really almost exclusively played it because it was just like, this is my game now and this is all I want to play. But that fades, I guess.
Yep, same thing. I mean, from February last year to right after HRX, you couldn't get me to play another game no matter what. Could have been the best game ever made. You could have bought it for me for free, and I'd be like, no, I'm getting on Smite.
You want to play Fortnite?
Oh, ugh. Let's not talk about Fortnite. Although the Marshmallow concert inside of Fortnite was pretty dope. I'll give them that.
They're doing a Weezer one right now.
Are they?
Yep.
That's going to be pretty cool.
All right, Aereo Steele. He says, what's your favorite recent meme and which one do you wish would die already?
just in general, or like Smite?
In
related?
general.
In general.
Yeah.
Let me think. This is a tough one. This is a serious question.
Yeah, serious.
I can't say anything wrong here. I think the oof meme is it should die now. It's been it's been long enough. Like
Agreed.
At this point, I'm okay with people using oof ironically when like unironically when something is like if something is actually heavy and you say oof, okay, yeah, I get that. But like there's a few of these like overused memes lately. Like same with what was it? Oh god.
Weird flex.
I can't remember from the top of my head. It's this kind of memes that you like blur out immediately because they just get annoying because they're just repetitive.
Well,
but
when your Twitter feed
Like
is
the
full of
Pikachu
15
meme.
of the same thing over and over again.
yeah, but then
Like, I'm still seeing the Pikachu meme. That needs to die.
I fucking love that.
Like, I love it, but it's used so much.
It's just not used.
oh yeah,
appropriately.
another one that needs to die is weird flex, but okay. That went from being used effectively to being used by everyone for everything. Like every kid would write that under everything anyone wrote anywhere, and it was just like that doesn't even make sense in this context. Like, please apply the meme to the context it is related to, and not just anything.
I think that's what's happened, that people are just like, oh, I'm going to meme on this kid. Wait a minute, what? You didn't? Not
Yeah.
effective.
But then there's I'm trying to think. There's definitely some memes that that can like go on for much longer. I'm thinking right now which ones like I don't.
I
really...
personally wish Bongo Cat would be popular again. That was freaking hysterical
Thank
to me.
you.
I don't know why
Thank
Bongo
you.
Cat was
That's
so
such a
cool.
wholesome. It's such a wholesome meme. I love Bongo Cat.
Okay,
Or
I
John
think
Cena.
the
Don't
meme
at
that
me.
I think the meme that is like I'm gonna go with this one. I think the meme that impresses me in the fact that it doesn't die out, but it keeps on going, is the whole PewDiePie T-Series thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I just
Yes.
can't believe it's
Yes.
still going on, and that makes it hilarious. And the day it's gonna be over, it's gonna be dead, and it's gonna be done for good. But as long as it's still like relevant, I think that's a hilarious meme. Just
It is.
how
By the
far
way,
developed.
everyone listening, go subscribe to PewDiePie.
It is so close
gotta
right
be
now. It's like
T-Series.
And DukeSloth.
within 6,000.
And DukeSloth, yeah. Oh, and ironically enough, I have to say it, we're on YouTube as well now, so go sub there too. You have 3 subs.
And you
yeah,
have
a
a
lot of
chance
work.
to
Go.
be entered in to win a skin or a battle pass. Hurry up.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Next question.
All right. Ariel also follows up with how many dabs can you do in a minute?
See, that's a meme that should also die, so I'm not gonna answer that.
Fair answer. Silent Aces throws us 3 questions. He said, "Hey Duke, thanks for coming. If you could change one thing about the Conquest map, what would it be?"
I get that question so often, but it's always like, if you change one thing, you don't know what consequences that has for other things. So, if I could change one thing about Conquest, is I would revert the nerf that they did to Assassin's Blessing and Speed Buff. There we go.
Thank you. Yes.
Absurd.
My hero.
I don't know where that's coming from. That's just not okay.
That's coming from your jungle heart. That's where it's coming
No, I
from.
mean like where that nerf came from in the first place. It's just
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
oh
that
my
makes
god,
no
oh my god,
sense.
Duo gets ganked at level 2. Now we have to, I don't...
Now you have to slow them
now
down. to
we're
get
not going to
there?
do the logical thing and tell the duos to suck it up and actually ward at level 1 again, but yeah, no, that would be
Right.
logical.
I actually bought a ward at level 1 because I knew the gank was going to be coming and it was effective.
Yeah, it's so simple. If you expect it, you just put a ward there. It's like, I don't know.
All you have to do is ward between the Gold Fury Pit and Purple, and as soon as you see a ping on that, you turn around and walk away.
But hey,
All right.
let's nerf
He
Assassin's
says,
instead.
yeah, I agree. He says, if you could make a new item, what would it be?
Oh, not these questions. I get them every time. I would like to see... I'm not going to say one item in general. I'd like to see more role-specific, class-specific items. I like the masks. I like that there's certain like stone-cutting sword and that kind of stuff, which is like class-specific now. I would like to see more of that. doesn't matter on which class or whatever. I just think those like items that can be balanced specifically for less classes and therefore be stronger as well or more interesting as well are very cool things, and I like them.
I agree.
I've always stood behind the shield should belong to warriors, the katana should belong to assassins, the bows are hunters, the stones are warriors, and mages, I don't know, they can probably just like get the books.
I wouldn't even mind that. Like I'd be fine with that. I know some people would be very upset because you can't build burst guardians anymore. Then so that could be an issue. But
feels bad.
Yeah, but like generally, I'd like to see some items that have that niche. Yeah.
All right. His final question is, who would you like to see added to Smite as a character?
I always said the Four Horsemen, because I think I just like Darksiders, so it's like it kind of goes hand in hand. But actually, I forgot the name. There's this somebody will know. Somebody will know. I don't know from the top of my head. The Egyptian, is it Mehdi something? It's an Egyptian god that is worshipped in Japan more than he is in Egypt, like than he ever was in Egypt in Egyptian mythology, which is basically just a guy with a blanket as his head, and you can only see his feet and his eyes, and he shoots lasers out of his eyes. Most hilarious thing. I can't remember the name right now. It's like wait. What does he look like? Medyed. I'm gonna link it to you guys.
Yeah, I was like, please post that in the chat.
I was gonna say I was Google searching for the name right here, and I see pictures.
It's absolutely fantastic. Like if you've not seen that,
it is
that thing. Like just click on that link. There's like a bunch of pictures of him.
That is worth the Google search.
It is absolutely worth the Google search. And like, and the funniest thing is really what Japan has made out of this. Like the weirdest. They made him like this cutesy character, and it's just everything about him is just hilarious. And I just want this character, and then his ultimate is basically Anubis ult, but he can like run around while doing it or something. I don't know.
That would be busted. Oh my god.
Yeah, just give him a terrible kid outside of that. Just have him like have that crazy laser eye ult.
Just turn him into a Pac-Man for like 30 seconds, and he just one-shots people.
Oh god. Moving on, Arab Cowboy. I'm gonna read this word for word so we can all have a good laugh. Hey Duke, big fan. Just wondering what kind of is the process that goes into you deciding what topic for videos to do?
Yes.
You nailed it, Arab. Nailed it.
Can I just answer that with yes? I guess he's asking what the thought process, or like, or the process for making a video, or the process for like
deciding the topic.
Basically.
Deciding the topic. I literally have a massive list on my desktop, like just a notes file, like a Google Notes file, no, Microsoft Notes file, with all the ideas that come to my mind at any point of the day. And whenever I have an idea, I write it down. And if I'm like outside or something, I write it down on my phone and put it in there later. And I check what's the most current one or the most interesting one for the day, the most fitting one, and then I make it. That's it.
Awesome.
Sounds about exactly what we do.
Real quick, all the hosts, can we please go hit them with the bot G? I'm helping.
Helping?
Yeah, helping emote.
All right.
That's just a Ralph face.
Goganator says, Duke, what are your thoughts on Jorm?
Earthworm.
Interesting. I think he's gonna be pretty busted. It's this weird misconception, this weird conception going on, I guess. So I was talking about how his passive, the knock-up immunity, or like the half of all CC immunity, is very, very lackluster in regards to the debuffs that he gets. Like, it's super strong, but the debuffs that he gets are like really weak. He gets a slow and a 10% damage increase, which for a tank, yes, it's noticeable, but it's not going to destroy you. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but then you use CT and then you can immediately burst him with your combo. And it's like, yeah, but if you use a Scylla, well, not a Scylla, maybe like you use like another ability afterwards, that's as much as you can get in that like 2 seconds, then you have amplified damage for one ability. And Jormungand is not going to care too much about that as a tank with a tank build. And you basically need the whole team to focus him down immediately once his passive procs. And the passive is only super obvious if you're looking at his head, because that's where this glowing thing is, which in order to do that, you have to look up to him in the first place, because every other guard is like lower on the battleground. So
I thought that part was very weird.
Yeah, so to me, like, make him glow all purple maybe, and then that might be more fair. But right now, the debuff feels super short and super punishing for the one using any CC on him compared to how much he gets out of it, along with the fact that he can stealth detect as well. The interesting thing is really if his kit can balance that out. The guy has like so much CC immunity. He has his ultimate with CC immunity as well, and then he has more mobility in the stealth. But his CC in itself and his damage and how it works is kind of strange. And I didn't really get to test that yet. I have to test it in like an actual game against actual players to really be the judge of that. And until I can do that, I can't really fully speak for what he is or how he is. But I think the passive will definitely lead a good, long, hard look at it.
I think they should just probably change it so he gets rooted instead. Like all those other things, just turn him into a root.
Yeah, but it still needs more than that, because if Naja ult just turns into a short root, that's still rough.
That is rough.
Yeah.
Like, speaking,
You're right.
we were talking about Willish earlier and playing her in ranked. Like, have fun playing her when Jormungandr is out, because you can't knock him up and you can't pull him either.
Yeah, he's about the only one.
Nah, Artio's equally
true,
disgusting. You can knock her up, but you don't want to do that because you can't use anything else after.
All right, we have 2 more questions. This is coming from Dark Rick 20X or Big Rick or
Big Dick Rick.
Big Dick
Big
Rick.
Dick Rick. Big Dick Rick.
All right, he says, "Sup, DukeSloth? Thanks for coming on. Can you give me a 15 to 30 second rundown on how to be a better Ao Kuang? Thank you, sir."
15 to 30 seconds. Okay, somebody time that, please.
All right, in 5 seconds.
Actually, I can time it myself. I can just. Oh no, I cannot
3,
look. Okay, you time it.
2, 1, go.
Okay, be aware of your surroundings. Don't engage on the first target immediately when you when you see it. Instead, stay on the outline, stay on the back lines, and try to blink in over walls and try to make the right pick, the important pick for your team. Don't hesitate to ult on tanks as well. Your ultimate takes away a lot of health, even from a tanky character. That's very, very important. Also, be very aware of your pathing. You don't have the super best jungle clear out there, so you have to get going. The first levels are very important to get that farm on when you don't really have the early pressure that others have yet. And if you get that right, it will help you a lot. All right.
Very good.
That was a lot of info in 30 seconds. Very well
That was
done.
awesome.
Nailed it.
I tried. I mean, depending on how long he's been playing Ao Kuang, it might help him more or less, but yeah, I guess that's the main idea of Ao Kuang.
I think Hi-Rez needs to hire you to do a 30-second how-to on.
Yeah, no, right? They actually hire me.
Please.
After hearing that, yeah, you're not wrong.
Hi-Rez. All right, last but
I'm
not
not sure
least.
if Hi-Rez is ever going to hire me on anything again, but
Oh gosh.
I
Last
think
but not
I'm just a
least.
bit too critical at this point.
Don't worry, we're good with Stu.
Stu is fantastic.
No, I wish.
Oh, I know, right?
You are not?
We had that kind of connection.
Okay, never mind. I talked to Stu before. I actually did an
Sorry.
interview with Stu, which never got released because the microphone fucked up, unfortunately. But Stu is actually
Oh no.
he's great for the company, in my opinion, from everything I've seen. He's very good at expressing himself and marketing the game to people that are not connected to the game as well. And he's got understanding of the game. So yeah, that's all I can care for, really. And sure, everyone does things wrong sometimes, but overall, I think having Stu as the company lead now is good for Smite, at least.
Hey, Stu, if you're listening, we'd love to have you as a guest. All right, go ahead, Will.
All right, last but not least, Zach LHS Dick says, "Is Apollo still his favorite god of all time?"
With that tier buff recently, I think Duke might be playing a lot more tier.
Yeah, I think Apollo is really not the issue right now. And Tyr hasn't been the issue for a long time either, but Tyr might very well be the issue next patch. So yeah, no, I don't really see Apollo much, so it doesn't bother me. His 2 will always bother me, but I just don't see it, so it's not that much of a problem. Whereas Tyr, yeah, that heal thing coming back, that might be fun.
Fun's the word for it. Yeah, that's the word we're looking for.
Yep, that's the word.
So that was the last of the challenger
That's
questions.
all the questions. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I have a question from Mrs. Double G. She wanted to know how you and Teeds met.
Originally through Twitter. At the time, Teeds was streaming Smite and Jaggerus, which I don't know if any of you knows at this point, because right now she's more in Realm, I think. And she was playing Smite more actively at the time, and she shouted out Teeds. And I watched her stream, and Teeds was like super nice and super happy on her stream. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. Like, I haven't seen someone be this nice and be this like comfortable to listen to in a stream for a very long time, especially in Smite. And I gave her a shout out after that. And after that, we just talked a little bit. But for the longest time, for ages, we were just friends. Like, it wasn't until like years later that we started talking more, and mostly due to time zones as well. So yeah, that's how we met. In real life, we met a lot later after already having been talking for a month, basically, to meet up. And since then, we've been staying together as well.
Nice.
There you go.
I didn't know that story either. Nice.
I think I've told it
just
a
had
few
to make
times
sure
by now,
that-
but it's like, it still gets asked a lot. It's like, I mean, it's not the usual how you'd meet each other story, I guess. But no, maybe nowadays this is. Who knows?
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I mean, not really. Mine was asked, ironically enough.
All right. I guess I got another one. Do you remember how me and you actually met at HRX this year? And like
Yes.
Famous as well? Because that still cracks me up every time I think about it. Hanging out with the VD2 people. I'm chatting away with Happiness, and he's like, oh, have you met Duke yet? And I'm like, nah, I've been looking for him. It'd be cool to say hi. And he just turns his head slightly and
He's
points to
standing
the guy
right in front
next
of
to
you.
him, and he's like, right here's Duke. And it's like, oh, what's up?
Wait, I have a question. DukeSloth.
Yes.
If you remember when we did meet you, you had half of a Subway sandwich in your hand when you left us. Did you finish that sandwich?
So here's the thing. I don't remember, but
Okay.
knowing myself, yes. Because
All
I
right,
cannot remember
perfect.
the last time I haven't finished food, unless it was like
A sandwich?
disgusting. That sandwich was not very
boy.
good, by the way. I was very disappointed because I was like, wow, we have Subway in the venue. That is really nice. I like Subway a lot. And then I had it, and it was actually really like bad. It was not up to Subway standards. So yeah, I'd like to report that to the Subway headquarters, and they can please take better care of their Subway. What is it? DreamHack stands in Atlanta.
Would you say that sub was subpar?
Yes, absolutely.
Huh?
Oh, come on.
Nev, you're fired.
Can we kill that meme?
No, puns will never die. Horrible puns are my passion.
Thank you.
I'm right with you there.
Oh, you and Nev are going to get along great.
Perfect. So that's the rest of the episode now. We're just trying to make the worst puns.
Oh, I am so down. I am here for this.
And Nev's
No,
like,
but-
this is why they brought me on. My time is now.
It's time for me to shine.
All right.
Right, it's my time to shine. No, we do have a topic that Fro would like to discuss with you on the episode, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to Fro.
All right, so this can be a little bit of a BattleGround University on effective health
Right.
and what that all is and entails.
Okay.
So just real briefly, what your effective health is the amount of health you actually will have in total after protections, and HP 5 is all calculated in a certain time frame to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we figured we had Duke on, so we were going to get real specific with this
All right.
Battleground U.
Okay, give me some pointers. What exactly do you want to hear about?
Yeah, Fro, what do you want to hear about? You're the one that kind of wanted to talk
No, this
about
was
it.
Willow's was the effective health. I just got thrown
Okay.
in charge of the section.
So
Okay.
I'll
behind the
leave this
scenes.
off. Part
My
of
bad.
part of what I want people to know is that effective health has multiple parts, and you can't just stack one of the parts to make it all work really well.
Yes.
So things that go into it are protections, how much penetration the enemy team has, how much health you have,
Mitigation.
mitigations, damage
HP5.
reduction,
Fun fact:
HP
mitigation and
5.
damage reduction is counted the same in Smite. You have flat mitigation and you have percentage mitigation, but it's actually, even though both is used, it's in basically every case it's the same. I think there's like the outlier cases with specific mitigation, which Osiris has. Or I'm not even sure if it's called mitigation or reduction in his case, which I think he has one part. Is it his passive or is it his? Well, one part of his abilities has physical mitigation, whereas the rest of mitigation is basically true, but mitigation and damage reduction end up being the same. I'm actually going to check that right now. I want to know that.
So I just wanted to talk
live research right now.
Right, yeah, physical. Okay, his passive, physical damage mitigation. I think it's the only god in the game who has a mitigation that is not universal. Very interesting. And then the magical damage mitigation is on that as well, but it's lower than the physical mitigation. And no true mitigation.
All right.
Yeah,
I had no clue.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
It's weird because I think his 3 has normal mitigation. His 3, like the tether. No, that's just reduction. Yeah. So his 3, for example, lowers Bakasura's Butcher Blades or Sokat's ultimate as well. But this passive, if it works correctly, shouldn't, because it only gives physical and magical mitigation. Very weird, very specific. Only Osiris, as far as I know.
Interesting. So the reason I bring up
for
effective
some
health,
behind the scene reason. Sorry to keep interrupting you, Willow, but
that's partly due to why Osiris swings so heavy, in my opinion. Why he goes from like terrible to really good to terrible to really good.
Well, I can tell you the reason actually. If his passive was a true mitigation, then it would be the same against physicals and magicals, which they don't want, and also he would be an absurd counter to true damage, unless it's actually bugged and it actually is the case. But because then he would be able to lower true damage with both his passive and with his 3, and then
that's broken.
Yeah, that's like true damage has to be true damage to some point to actually function.
Yep.
It's almost God mode in jungle practice. It's ridiculous. Okay, well, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So the reason I want to bring this up is because I see a lot of people going to build the hammers, and hammers only give you health. They don't give you any protections.
Mm-hmm.
As items, they are good. As items together, they are good. But there are reasons why you shouldn't just build all the hammers and stack a whole bunch of health. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about here today.
Okay, here's an interesting thing
hammer
about
time.
the hammers. It's hammer time. The hammers are actually, they are a bit of the result of people underestimating them for too long. I'm not necessarily saying they were always good before, but Hyris just kept slapping stats on them because no one was buying them, and they're like, okay, we gotta do something, and so they got more and more stats. At this point, especially Blackthorn Hammer has a ridiculous amount of health of 450, which is why in certain situations on certain characters, you can build it even in solo before going into specific defense. Because the effective health that you get just through your base protection / Warrior's Blessing, plus the extra health from Blackthorn Hammer, can be worth more than a protection item. If you build all 3 hammers, however, you're gonna hit a bit of a brick wall. Because on one hand, you have Runeforged Hammer that's really more for damage than for health at this point, because it only has 200 health, and still as expensive as the others. And on the other hand, you have Frostbound Hammer, which has 300 health, which is still good. But if you're really looking for the maximum survivability, there are better items. So I don't think there's anything wrong with like rushing Blackthorn Hammer on the right character specifically. But I do think that afterwards you should opt into a at least mixed defense item most of the time, and then maybe get the other hammers later if you're really looking for survivability. Because otherwise you're also going to run into the problem of having too much health, which is very bad against items like Kin Size, which is not unpopular at the moment as well, because the more health you have, the more damage you take with that.
And I think Kin Size is going to become more popular on hunters because these hammers have become so popular.
I mean, right now the hunters are running the hammers as well, so yes.
Yeah, well, you're right, they are.
True. It's true. I got Kara the other day. I think I had Runeforged, Frost, and Kins all in the same build.
Runeforged Canonos is a stupid thing.
It is, isn't it? That's who I was playing.
You don't even need Frostbound. You just go into the Frost Dance. That's all you need.
I know. I just did it for fun. We were so far ahead. I just
fair
had some
enough.
fun. Yeah.
So let's talk about the other part about what happens when you have a shit ton of protections and no health.
Right. Same thing, basically. You have, in that case, you would have the bigger problem with protection compared to health is it doesn't work against everything. So health works against magical, physical, and true damage. This is very important. Protections do not help you against true damage. Mitigation does, but protection doesn't. Because protection only counters one specific type of damage, and true damage is the third type of damage that goes through your protections. So that's very bad already. Now, not every enemy team has true damage, so it's not necessarily always an issue. But even if they don't, then you have to keep in mind if you stack more and more protections, then any percentage penetration item or any percentage reduction item becomes more effective. Especially Obsidian Shard and Titan's Bane because they stack up with the enemy's protection. But even Executioner, for example, will take away the same percentage of your health, of your protections, but a higher value, a higher flat value because your total value is higher, the percentage is higher. And if you don't have any health to like back those stats up, you're still going to lose out on a lot. I think with the current items that we have in Smite, you can be a lot more flexible than you used to be in terms of what levels of health you need in comparison to what levels of defense. Because the items are, there are items with high defense and there are items with high health, whereas for the longest time we had a lot more items with very high defense, but less items with high health. And there are also more items now that allow you to opt into one while not sacrificing everything in the other, like Void Stone, which still has health and defense, for example. But you still want to keep a decent amount of balance if a tanky build is what you're looking for.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
I mean, if I'm taking anything away from you, stop me at any point.
No.
No, I mean, I don't play tanky, and I'm just sitting here actually learning something in an episode
Same.
for once. It's kind of nice. Yeah, I don't play tanky, so just listening to this is okay. Well, that's a mistake I've been making. Because when I play support, I'll get my support auras, but then I'll just build protections. I didn't really think, I get the concept of having health to back up your protections, but I didn't think it was that important.
Thing is, which is important to point out here, when you're building a support build and you build the standard aura, say like Sovereignty, Hardwood, whatever, the old support build, then maybe put some Reinforced Greaves and a Watcher's Gift, right? Guardian's Blessing on that and whatever. You already have a relatively high health pool that way. After that, you can literally go into just defense items and you'll be fine. Obviously, no one's gonna yell at you if you build Emperor's Armor or Midgardian Mail and get some more health. But if you don't, and if you just go into pure defense items at that point, that is also fine because you already have some health. You don't need to overdo it.
Okay, well that's literally what I've been doing, so that's good.
No, that's why those items are core on supports because it opens your other items up towards the end, so you can
Late
more
game.
counter build
Right.
in the last 3, and if you're selling boots, 4 items. You know what I mean?
Right, like I got Reinforced, Sov, Heart Ward, and then I had an ADC mid and an ADC in my duo lane, so I went Shoguns.
Yeah, that is still absolutely fine. There's no issue with that. And the nice thing with support is that many items also make it easy for you to get those mixed stats, right? Even the more aggressive support items, like I said, like Voidstone, for example, but then also the more simple ones like Sovereignty, and even like I said, Midgardian Mail, Emperor's Armor, they all come with a degree of health or Talisman of Energy. They all come with these stats pre-made for you. The issue is more when somebody, and I've talked about this quite a lot, decides to go into whatever. In the current meta, I would say okay, I'm only dealing with physicals here really, and I go into Celestial Legion Helm, and then I go into Breastplate of Valor, and then I build Hide of the Nemean Lion. Yes, you're gonna have a ton of physical defense, but you don't really have any health or anything else, and if somebody comes at you with Execution and Titan's Bane, it's still gonna hurt a lot. So that's where the problems really kick in, but most standard safe support items kind of take the math away from you already, luckily.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hi-Res.
So, one quick other little point out I want to bring it outside of Conquest for a minute. Assault main over here. So the HP5 actually works against both physical and magical people. So that's why a lot of times, even when I'm in an assault and there'll be 2 physical and 3 hunters, and I'm playing support, I will still actually generally lean towards picking up a sovereignty, because you get the protections for the minions and the towers, and the HP5 for everybody, and the protections for them as well.
The only reason not to do that, in my opinion, really, is when you have a healer that benefits more from the mana, and the enemy team has like more magical damage. Then you can get away with the MP5 first, because the healer can kind of do that job for you. But otherwise, yes, sovereignty is always nice in that regard.
Yeah, and I was kind of using that as an example of how just having more health and more health regen can work for effective health against both types.
Honestly, people in general underestimate health, like sustain, not health, HP5 in Assault to this day. Like, I used to run Watcher's Gift Kali back in the day. And people would be like, why are you building Watcher's Gift? And I was like, no one else built it. It's super stat efficient. I get healed all the time. I can get my gold faster until we get to late game, where I can just sell it and get my full Kali build and just run over them. It's super
And
nice.
honestly, as a quote unquote assault main, if you're playing an assassin and you don't have like 90% of the assassins, if you don't have a Guardian's Blessing, you're not doing it right.
Yeah,
Your
it
builds are
depends. I think
relatively
if you-
cheap on
if you can-
assassins. And
I don't know, man. A Gaia Attacker's Blessing.
That is still that's the other option. That's the other.
Well,
option.
at least for people like me, I'm an assassin main. That's what I do. So I could see the Guardians for someone who just wanted to sit back and like pick people.
I mean, I'm an assassin main too. It's not like I'm coming from like a completely different angle here. But like I wouldn't.
Oh right, I'm talking about Fro.
But I'm like, I did it on Kali specifically because she is so hyper carry late game. Whereas on, like, for example, on Bakasura, I wouldn't do it because you still have enough sustain in your kit, and you can still have more early game impact in comparison. So I think it's down to who you're playing, how good your team is going to get picks as well, and everything else, and what your job is going to be in that game. But overall, it's also nice to have the MP5 and everything. So I'm not opposed to it, you know?
Right, yeah, I was thinking people like the Kali, like you said.
But I think
Bakasura would be a bad example because literally you're going to want to eat one of the minions every wave, so you're down that, so Guardians wouldn't help you there.
Yeah, but I think that Watcher's Gift, if I remember correctly, oh god, how was it? I'm
It was
to
better
remember
in
if
every
Watcher's
way, and it needs to come back.
Did Watcher's Gift have HP5 at some point? I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
it
it
did.
did.
Did it have
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
And
Yes, I think
that's
so.
when I primarily built, because you had HP5 and you had the heal from minions. And now the later Watcher's Gift and the Guardian's Blessing only have sustain from minions and not any sustain outside of that, which makes it a little bit worse for Assault overall. It's not as core for someone, let's say, like Kali, but I still think it's a very nice item.
That money. That gold.
Yeah.
Give me that gold. Anyways,
Gold
any other
per-
little points of effective health you wanted to bring up here, Willow?
No. I do want to say that I remember specifically that DukeSloth has a very good video on effective health. If you have any more questions, you might want to search that up. I couldn't tell you what the title was off the top of my head.
Oh,
I can tell you
I don't even
one
know.
really
Yeah, that
good
was quite a
one
while
we had.
ago, but a
was
lot of it
the-
still hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It was the Jade Emperor's crown versus sovereignty video is where you really delved in deep about the effective health.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was that's something I can do again now. With that topic comes up
Yeah,
again
with
and again. Whenever one of them has
Celestial Legion
changed.
help now.
You know what? Real quick, can I go a little rogue here, boys?
You usually do. Go ahead.
Since we don't get the every week opportunity to have a guy like Duke on the show, there's a conversation that always happens passively between us when we're playing Smite. So I'm gonna ask Duke and get his opinion. What do you think we should do to Toxic Blade?
Oh, we do
How
talk
do we
about
fix
that.
it? We talk about this all the time.
Take the health away from it because it just doesn't have any place on that item, and give it more carry focused stats so that it becomes basically the brawler's equivalent for basic attackers.
For attack speed.
So
Yes,
that's
thank you.
that's
all right.
usually
Yeah, we're on the
what's
right
brought
track
up,
there.
But Willow always comes up with the good point of it has health because it's in the health tree.
Yep. And
Yeah, but
my
then
opinion
move
is
it to another
needs
tree.
to move out of that tree.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I'm not opposed to moving it out of the tree. I think the reason it is there is that the items in that tree are supposed to like kind of have utility in a way of different sorts. Like the whole blade set is just utility. But yeah, move it out or take away health of the core set from the item, but that's probably not good. I mean, honestly, the whole blade tree probably needs a look at in general because
Yeah, they're really weak right now.
yeah, I mean, Witchblade is still good. But Relic Dagger
Wingblade
is
is
so
good in situations.
yeah, Relic Dagger is so situational. The Wingblade, it's falling back more and more. Especially like Magi's is more on the rise again. Hard CC is the big deal right now. There's not much Nemesis going around or Bristet going around that would like warrant Winged Blade all too much.
I do believe that Wingblade will come into this new meta because the Runeforge build is so popular right now.
But the problem
And
between Wingblade and like, I mean, this comes down to Frostbound at the end, is that Frostbound is in its passive superior to Wingblade because it procs all the time, not every 30 seconds. And that makes it a bit annoying to deal with. And I'm not quite sure how they could fix that because if Wingblade procs more often, then it's very frustrating for guards that have slowing abilities instead of Frostbound hammers. So yeah, I don't know how to solve that.
You know, we were supposed to be talking about effective health, but this whole, like, most of this episode is us just talking about health items between the hammers and all the blades.
Well, I saw my opportunity. I had to take it. I was like, we talk about this a lot. And we have a man like DukeSloth available at the moment.
I'm not hating. Episode title, we talk about health.
I'm just glad to know that we had the same mindset.
Agreed.
Because that's basically what we think about. Like, get rid of the health and give it something that I actually want to use as a hunter. Please.
I would want to make a pun with give him health here, but we actually want to take the health, so that's not going to work. Would have been a good title.
You tried.
It was close enough.
Yeah. All right, what are we? About an hour and a half in? All right. Do we want to get to the purg?
Time to talk about the purg.
All
Do we want
right.
to do the purg?
Okay, so we are moving on to the Hat of Purgatory. The Hat of Purgatory is kind of like an internal challenge that we have for each other, but we also extend it out to anybody who's ever interested in trying it out themselves. Last week, the Hat of Purgatory was Famous's fucked up Fafnir Jungle.
No, we
How'd
renamed
go?
it. It's the Faffed Up Jungle.
Oh, that's better.
Faffed up.
Yeah, the Faffed Up Jungle. I like that.
Well, I can start us off. I mean, for me, it works just fine. For me, it works real well. I did it a handful of times before I made it a Hat of Purgatory, and then I did it a handful more times after. You have to be really patient, extra patient. If you're a jungler, you know when you have to be a little extra patient sometimes. And with Fafnir, you really do. You got to wait for those right moments.
Explain this to Duke real quick so he knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So it's Doom Orb, Pin Boots, Chronos Pendant, Hasten Ring, Spirit Deso, I do believe, and then you finish it off with a Telekine.
Okay.
On Fafnir.
It's stupid, but it's fun. On Fafnir, in the jungle.
All right.
But for me, it's one of those things where I noticed if I'm on Inuwelix, a Bakasura, a Hunbats, if I would have went into that same situation I went in as Fafnir, I would have killed them. But as Fafnir, if you go in and still mess up, you're probably dead, especially if you don't have your ult. So that's my only advice is if you do this, play it a lot more patient than you normally would. Because that's what helped me. Whenever I would get rushed, bad blink, something like that, that's when I got behind and just couldn't do anything. That's how it went for me. I didn't see Rick play it on the stream. How'd that go, Fro? You said you were going to kind of embody that
I was
for us.
playing with Rick. He did this like in 2 different fucking arenas and then took it to a conquest. He just kept doing it. He's like, I think I'm ready for it. I'm like, why do you prepare to do the Hat of Purgatory?
He's practicing.
Just get this shit
We just
done.
do it and hate ourselves.
Yeah. Like, this isn't something you want to repeat. These builds are bad. So yeah, I did it with him. It was fun. I haven't got jungle this week. I just haven't. I think I did like one game, but I didn't realize it until after I picked my god that I had to do this. So Fro didn't get this challenge done. My bad.
And Depp isn't here
Lucky
either
Rick
to
was
talk
there.
about his.
Yeah,
so.
Depp's not here.
Oh yeah,
He's
by the
off
way,
on a-
everybody, Depp's not here.
Yeah, he's
I
off
think that's a
on
new
vacation.
record. Hour and a half. Still didn't mention it.
I was actually gonna save it for the end of the episode. Just be like, oh, by the way, Depp's not here. That way, it would be the like actual top record.
How'd it go for Rick, Fro? Did he do anything?
I don't remember that. I mean, yes, he got kills, but
Oh my lord.
I mean, it was almost like having a Loki. Like you would go in and fuck one person up, maybe.
I think you just summed it up
I'd have to
perfectly.
leave.
You just summed it up perfectly. Like,
Yeah.
he got
Yeah,
kills,
he did.
but that's like every wonky jungle pick ever. It's like, yeah, you did something, but like it's the feeling like if I was on an actual good god with a good build, it would work so much better.
Right.
That's the Hat of Purgatory.
Oh,
Yep. That's the whole concept.
yeah. Hopefully you don't
This
suffer too
this
much.
week's new one kind of isn't, but
Well, this week, I really want Fro to introduce it because of the name of the Hat of Purgatory.
You move like a jaguar.
Hey!
That's right. You and two of your closest, bestest friends go into the Joust map and pick Chalk, Willix, and
Are you gonna say his name?
Shibalanke.
Shibalonke.
No, I had to do my awkward pause because Depp's not here.
All right,
Oh,
touche.
there
Someone's
it
got to
is.
do
Oh, okay.
awkward pauses. We don't got that. Yeah, that's this is a Fro specialty, I suppose. Shock, a Wheelix, X-Ball. I'm sure y'all get the
are
pun.
we just indicting Fro to do this one with two friends because he didn't do last week's?
I mean, I volunteer. I'll always volunteer for any hat that's a shock.
You know what?
You got it, pal.
If we're gonna play it like that, I was also not even present last week, so
Neither was
and
I.
since we have crossplay, I can do this with Fro, or Willow can do this with Fro. Unfortunately, we all can't do this together.
Yeah, Willow.
That's where you're
get an
wrong.
Xbox.
I'll just have to do it with both of you.
Oh, God.
There you go. Somebody clip that.
I choose Shibalanke because I cannot play Wheelix.
Hey, I'll pick Shock. That's good with me. We'll find our fill.
Hey, I'm in a Wheelix main. Let's do it, boys.
Oh, boy.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well,
All
that's
right.
this week's.
Hat of Purgatory. All right, last week for the community corner, we asked you to list 3 gods that you would like to have in your carpool. And why?
Yes.
So first up we have Rick. He says, Druid form RDO is S tier carpool member. She will always bring breakfast, like toast and muffins, to get your day started just right. If she shows up in bear form, though, just walk back inside and call out sick.
I was gonna say, like,
Freya.
has he thought this through, like, all the way to the end? Like,
Yes.
what if a stance swap happens in the car while driving?
Oh no!
I'm not sure I want that.
Don't worry.
Fucking
It's a
bear
Jeep
in
with
the
the top
car out
off.
of nowhere.
Get out now!
F6! F6!
How many convertibles has Ardio ruined?
All of them.
Yeah, right?
Freya, because having to see the hot girl in the office first thing every day would motivate me to get up early, shower, and dress better. And Apollo would be the driver. No gas money ever needed, just mana. And nobody has to talk because he's always on top of music and bot G on the way in.
Can I make, like, a small adjustment to that? Can we make it, because we're talking about, like, the hot girl in the office, can we make it Freya, but the old model?
Ooh.
I mean, if you're lucky.
I'm not sure that's the right word. Do you guys, have you seen the screenshot of old Freya's messed
yeah.
up face?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the good old days.
Next up, we have Ario with Kuzumbo, Loki, and Shibalanke. Kuzumbo would be the funny guy and crack everyone up. If the car ever breaks down, he could just 3 all of us to work. Loki, because I wouldn't know if he was in the car, being invisible and all. I also wouldn't care if he was in the car, because Loki sucks, and you suck too, Famous, for maining him. Got him.
Called
Deserve
out.
that.
And Shibalanke, because he seems quiet and a cool dude to chill with, as well as for his ult if we were running late, because then he could just make it night. Unless we were working the night shift, then crap. And then Rick said, how is Shibalanke greater than Kronos? And then he had the facepalm emote, so there's that. Okay, Ash chimed in with actually 2 responses. One was from last week, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't remember what last week was, so I'm just going to do this week's. First, I would have Fafnir riding shotgun.
That is
Once
equally dangerous to audio. No, actually worse.
Once I go through a toll road because it's a faster route to work, and times I forget to bring dollars for coins and would have to ask Faf for change, and I know he won't give me coins because he's a cheapskate. Second, I would have Hell, knowing that we all have topics to speak of in the carpool, and she will literally be most arguments and opinions on both sides, if you know what I mean. And lastly, my best work friend, Susano. Me and Susano flow pretty well. Our interests, and since I love anime, me and him would talk about all of that in the car, while Fafnir and Hell always call us nerds. But at least they know both have a laugh at us about it, but they would ask us what we're watching all the time.
Okay, question. Is it realistic that Susano would be interested in anime, though? Like, would somebody who's basically an anime character actually be interested in anime themselves when it's actually just their
Ooh.
life?
That's a fair argument.
I don't know. Does a Domino's employee eat pizza?
Not at Domino's, for sure.
Exactly.
Hey, I used to work at Domino's, and I like Domino's pizza. But I got really
yeah, but I bet
tired
every
of
once
it.
in a while, if you could get Pizza Hut, you'd go get that instead.
I got really tired of Domino's pizza. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Gilly. Baron in Shotgun because he's the life of the party. Ymir because he can walk off someone who is following too close because Florida drivers are terrible. And Pup Patrol Serb because he is a good boy.
Oh, that's my favorite so far. I think that's very, very well thought out. Aside of the fact that the car would be freezing cold, but...
You're just sitting right next to a giant ice.
yeah.
Burr.
Alright.
Can you turn off the aircon? He's dying.
All right. Someone mentioned Ymir in a car. Who wants to explain it to him?
Oh.
You guys got it. You guys got it.
All right, Duke. You ready for this? Skin theory?
All right.
All right. Skin concept. Ymir. He's Botg PD officer. And, he's wearing a cop uniform. Now, for his wall, it would either be one of those, restraining things that the cops use or a cell wall, like bar doors.
A barricade.
Yep.
Yeah, barricade. Thank you, Fro. I'm stupid. All right. And
Confirmed.
his 2 would be spike strips.
Okay, that's nice.
All right. And then his 3, he would put his whistle in his mouth and yell freeze as he freezes.
I thought you hate bad puns. What's up with that?
Oh,
No, that one's
Oh,
good,
that's
though.
too good. But on top of that, we want
This
like
one's full
comic
of
book
puns.
style pop up freeze right above them too.
I like that.
And then his alt, he does his normal animation, but he's got the blue and red lights going off while he's in his alt, and then it blows up.
I think,
All right.
I think the old has more potential. He could do something big
It does.
with the old.
Well,
But
what,
the rest
what do
are
you
like
got
the
then?
old-
What do you got? This is a growing idea.
I don't have anything yet. I just think there's more that could be done.
All right, DM me later.
Well, see, we
DM
had
me
to save a
later.
little
Gotcha.
room for Hindu Man's idea.
Let me think.
Well, see, because Hindu wanted to give him a special emote where he drives around in his smite car.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Oh God.
But anyway, that's the Battleground of the Gods podcast original skin concept right there. We're trying to shop it until Hi-Rez makes it.
It's been
That's all there is to it.
slowly evolving for I don't even know how long anymore.
Months. It's been months.
If someone's a good artist and wants to draw this for us, I may or may not send it to Hi-Res. Just saying.
You supposed to be using your Olympian influence that way, Fro?
If someone else concepts it,
I hope so, because I want this skin.
Wait, what
That's
if
all I
what
have
if
to say
what if
about
for
it.
the ultimate? I guess it goes a little bit in the detective direction. But you know those you know how Ymir's ultimate like has this expanding ring in it?
Yeah, yeah.
And instead of like having the ice on the floor, it could be one of those like mind maps that detectives have, where they connect like the red lines.
Oh
between,
my
like,
God!
and stuff like.
Oh,
And
I
then
love
with the
that.
old expanding, like the red lines expand and the web gets bigger and expand, and then eventually it explodes basically.
And you see the string like wrapping around thumbtacks and stuff. Yes.
Oh my
You-
God!
And then
We
and then like at the end, like the sign of the murder, like the face of the murder, like floats down after the old stun or something.
yes.
Like
That'd be amazing.
I love that.
This is going to be one of the greatest skins ever made.
community effort.
We have
Alright, well,
like
what-
High res, please.
multiple people have influenced this skin, and it has just gotten better every time.
Yes.
from
Yes.
DukeSloth, the Hindu man.
Like, right? Like, if we ever do get a chance to promote this to a high res employee, be like, it has Dukesloth's input, Hindu man's input.
Just get some more like known people on it. Just let them say yes to it, so he's got their approval as well.
Well, what about you guys? What are your 3 smite gods that you're bringing into your carpool?
All right, Fro is ready for this week.
Nev is also ready, but Fro, you go first.
All right, so I got a couple, right? I would want the Wasteland Cucullin, the Wasteland Kumbhakarna, and I would want the Raijin one too, the War Drums Raijin.
Is this
But
Mad Max or something?
The vehicle must be the doof wagon from Mad Max. Because who the fuck doesn't want to be on a vehicle that's nothing but giant speakers and a flaming fucking guitar? Come on now. This is too easy. If not that,
It'd be a fun ride to work.
if not that,
Well played.
Fro likes his electronic music as well. I would take probably Neath, Nox, and Zeus all in their DJ skins and have a bumpin' ride to work. Or I would take the heavy metal people, right? You got the Thor, the Raijin. I'm drawing a blank on the third.
Kumba also has one, I think.
Jingwei. I don't think Kumba does.
Oh yeah, Jingwei.
Jingwei
Right?
has
No, come on,
one. Raijin has one.
And Thor. Yeah.
And
it's the three.
Thor.
All right. And then
I think
the
that's
last one would be Jingwei. Or not Jingwei. Why did I say Jingwei? Ganesh, Nox, and Loki. Because then it'll be a nice silent ride to work, and I wouldn't even know anyone was there. Various different moods for how I feel on my way to work. I got a long
There you
drive
go.
every day.
Well, I picked Toth. We can always talk about some nice books, maybe get some good recommendations off of each other, so that'll be nice. I
Can
also...
you read Egyptian?
I
Probably
also,
just going to tell you about that one Duke's or Flare Boot wrote.
Right? I also picked a DJ skin. I picked DJ Ganesh for, some sweet tunes. But the creme de la creme, I have Erlong Shin in Queen's Guard uniform there for 2 reasons. Number 1, there's a corgi in the car, and that's nice, and I'm happy about it.
Acceptable.
And number 2, because if anybody tries to have road rage on us, it's fine. He'll just stick his head out the window and he'll say, "Stand back from the carpool." And just yell at them. And just constant taunts.
Oh,
spamming
boy.
the taunts.
All right, Nev. I know you've wanted to say it. Go ahead and tell them what you had me do yesterday.
I popped the skin booster. Okay, well, first off, I said, Fro, since you're playing Erlong, if I use a skin booster, are you going to use the Queen's Guard skin? And he said yes. And then I popped it, and then he was like, just kidding. And I was raging because it was my last skin booster. But then he did actually do it, so thank you very much.
I used the Queen's Guard. That's a meme in our community, Duke. Just FYI.
Totally hop.
Oh, Jesus.
Poor Katie.
What about you guys? What do you got?
Everybody kind of took mine.
I'll go. I'll go. Give you a second to think. So.
Oh, I have one. I'm using it. I don't care.
I don't give a fuck if Fro stole it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Soul is Bae, but I'm pretty sure she just caused the car to go up in flames. So that one.
That's
was out.
thinking ahead.
Yep. That was pretty much it. But then I was thinking, you know what?
Well, that
would be
rules out
even
like
more
Agni as
green?
well too.
Yeah. Well, exactly. What would be even more green than carpooling is riding horses. So my 3 are the 3 horsemen: Guan Yu, Hachiman, and Chiron, and we're just gonna horseback ride to work because fuck it.
Oh my god! If we ever get a 4th person with a horse, we need to do a hat. That's the 4 horsemen.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to.
All right. Well, mine is kind of based around something that's going to happen in real life. Me and my cousin decided we're going to go to Lost Lands this year down at Red Rocks. It's this summer. But anyway.
What is that?
So I thought I wanted to make... Lost Lands? It's like a EDM festival,
All right.
pretty much. Yeah. But anyway, I want Nox, I want Neith, and I want Yanis all in their DJ skins because I need some good Ray friends to accompany me to this show. We're not going to work. Works for squares. We're going to a concert.
Road trip.
Yeah.
I only have 2. I have I had a 3rd, but I forgot. So it would be Ganesh, default. It would be Vamana. I think it's called Divine Protector.
Okay.
And
which one's that one?
the meditating one, basically. What was the 3rd one? It was also skin. It was also, I think it was mentioned before, but not as that skin. Oh right, Bob Ross Sylvanus.
Oh, nice.
That'd be a
I just
ride.
need I just need the smoothest ride that I can get. Like I don't road rage, but I get like super frustrated with drivers on the road because I don't know what it is. I don't know
Duke's
why
over
so
here.
many
That
people.
motherfucker forgot to put his blinker on. Bob Ross is like, it was just a happy little accident. Don't worry about it, Duke.
Just a happy little.
Yeah, exactly. I need that. I'm like, I'm sitting in the car like, why are people incapable of doing like basic tasks they learned in driving school, like putting your blinker on, like not trying to crash into you? It's just like something that just annoys me quite a lot when I drive, and just having 3 people to calm me down at all times and be like super relaxed about it, like, hey, it's gonna be alright. Just keep rolling. And like, yeah, okay, that's what I need.
I like that. That's a good one.
Otherwise, I'd go with Fro's first option and just go all Mad Max, and you don't have to care anymore.
Then you just drive over everybody. Fuck them.
It's like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
total opposite.
Yeah, I mean that's at the point when you just gave up, just let the tilt go over. You just run over them with your spiked car. It's like,
if you're driving the fucking doof wagon down the highway, people are getting out your way. You don't have to deal with road rage.
Yeah.
No one's fucking with you. Would you fuck with a car with a dude playing a flaming guitar on top of like 37 fucking speakers? Nope.
Okay, realistically nowadays people would. They wouldn't fuck with the car, but they would slow down and then like get their cameras out and like film you in the middle of the road. That's what they would do.
Oh god, you're not wrong though.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
There you go, Depp. You're
Meme
welcome.
lives on.
That was for the missing
All
co-host.
right. This week, your community corner is if you were to become a content creator, or if you already are one, we're still going to ask you to make a new content creator name, noun, and then animal.
Well, that's cheating. That's not even what his name is.
You're welcome, DukeSloth.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if you want an example, DukeSloth.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Hey, we're trying to help you. If you ever come out with another channel geared towards different content, we're trying to gear up names for
Yeah,
you.
we're stacking them up for you.
All right.
I mean, Fro seemed to enjoy mine earlier, so I think we're getting
Dick
there.
Whale.
I think that might get banned on YouTube.
It's with 2 Ks.
Oh, okay.
No, 2 Cs. 2 Cs.
Oh, like thick but dick. I see.
Justice. Hashtag justice for dick whales.
All right.
Is girthworms a possible?
Duke's over here like, I don't know what's going
Can
on.
I use
Okay,
girthworm?
all right.
That's an adjective, not a noun.
You're right. You're right.
All right. I think that's it. Is that the show, guys?
I think that
Wait,
might
what?
be it.
Pretty much.
Wait. I got a name though.
Uh-oh.
All right. Let's hear it.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, do colors count as nouns in this case?
Sure.
I mean, technically it is.
Okay, I'm gonna go with red sea urchin.
Nice.
Red sea urchin. Hell yeah.
Second channel coming soon.
Look out for that Apex Legends gameplay
Yeah,
coming
I was
out
gonna say,
on Red
it's gotta
Sea
be
Urchin.
Apex, right? Like,
No, that's gonna be on the main channel. No second channel for that.
Right.
well, Duke, thank you so much for being here. You can go ahead and plug your stuff if you'd like. Where can we find you and talk to you outside of the podcast?
Thank you for having me. Standard plugs. YouTube.com/DukeSloth, Twitter.com/DukeSlothTV, Twitch.tv/DukeSloth, and Instagram.com/DukeSlothTV. Yeah, that should be it.
There you go.
And I have a Discord, discord.gg/DukeSloth. There you go.
Nailed
All
it.
the stuffs.
Nailed it.
Half of my viewers don't even know these links, but hey.
I mean, maybe if you were to like post them on your videos or something,
Oh no! Yeah, I know. If only they were in the description every single time,
it would be.
They would be so
Have you
easy
thought
to
about
find.
doing that?
Yeah, good idea. I don't believe how often I've gotten this. Duke, I didn't even know you streamed, and it's like, dude, there's a link every time.
Every
I used to
time.
announce it every time. I mean, now I don't stream anymore, so it works. But I.
Just a heads up, we started our YouTube channel this week, and there is a description down there. You can put stuff in.
I won't lie, as a mobile YouTuber for the most part, I never look at descriptions. Because you have to
Yeah,
hit
fair
an
enough.
extra button to pull the whole description down to read through it.
I mean,
But
you have to do the same thing on PC.
If you
though.
have
That's true.
half a
That's
fucking brain, you know what's going to be in the description, where to find them.
Well, yeah, if I'm looking for
That's-
something, I'm going to look in the description.
I mean, I think it's actually even, if I remember correctly, it's even on the channel links that you can put on your channel page, basically about. I think I have them there. Yeah, I actually do. And it's like, you could find them if you're looking for them, but I don't have to.
We'll have links to his YouTube channel in the description below on both the YouTube video and the podcast description.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem, sir.
Famous, where can we find you?
You can find me on the podcast Twitter at BattleGround of, the Discord, of course, on the PlayStation, Famous Freak 33ES Tuka, as always. And that's about it. You can find me smashing on some kids in the Division 2 beta later, too.
So Famous, I got a quick question before we move on. Where did you get that fire ass logo that you use for Twitter?
Did I use for Twitter? I made that one.
You fucking troll.
Oh, shoot.
You can, you fucker.
Now, if you're talking about the logo overall, then you mean
Yes, that's what I
wildmonkeydesign.com.
mean.
WildMonkeyDesign.com.
WildMonkeyDesign.com.
For all your design needs. All right.
I was going to do one when she threw it to me. I was going to say, oh, you can find me contacting WildMonkeyDesign.com for all those hot logos, but you didn't let me get to it.
I fucked your joke. Famous fucked my joke. Just a whole bunch of shenanigans going on.
We're just
All right.
joke fucking.
Welcome to the Battleground.
Yep. So you can find me on PSN, Twitter, and in the Discord at fro_double_G. You can check out my shitty ass YouTube for whatever reason at fro_double_G space gaming, or you can catch me on the Switch at fro_G no spaces.
Willow.
You can find me watching the YouTube videos at Battleground of the Gods podcast. Link will be in the description.
That was slick.
You're welcome. But you can also find me on Twitter, Twitch, and in the Discord at Willow1771 or PSN at Willow_1771.
And I have been your hostess with the mostest this week, Nevea03. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, in the Discord, and on Xbox Live, all at Nevea03.
I just want to say,
Good episode, everyone. Duke, thank you.
damn
Thank you.
you. I was
Go
going to
ahead,
say
Willow,
thank you
sorry.
first.
Everybody just say thank
Get
you on the
wrecked.
count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you, Duke.
Thank you.
Thank you, Duke.
You want to hit us with that hot outro we talked about?
Oh, yeah, sure. And with that, thank you guys very much for watching. DukeSloth out.
Bye.
Nice. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.